This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continually teach us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's laboring in his word and truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this could be an edifying video. Okay, it comes off a statement that Trump made yesterday. And, this is one step closer to nuclear Armageddon, which we know first before the nuclear destruction comes, which is the second death. The MOTB, which is the implantable device that you won't be able to buy and sell unless you have it, that has to be made mandatory first. And we're right around the corner from that because everything is going digital. And there's reports that the hurricane that hit Jamaica, they say the island, 80% of the island is without power. And there's all kind of videos that they want to turn Jamaica into, pretty much they want to make that whole island a smart island, so to say. Okay? And this hurricane was a means of them, rebuilding it into a smart island. Because Esau, that's why he thinks he can be like the Most High, because the Most High has given him the technology to weather manipulate. Okay, which the Most High still authorizes everything that he allows Esau to do. The Most High controls the left and the right. Okay, but going back to the scripture, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So Trump made this statement. Trump orders Department of War to start nuclear weapons tests to match China's and Russia's, because Putin just did a nuclear well, he did two tests. He did a nuclear missile test, which he didn't test a nuclear weapon, but the missile is powered by nuclear technology, I believe. And they say it has unlimited range. And then he did another test called the Poseidon Trident, something like that, to where they say it's an underwater submarine nuclear weapon that explodes underwater and it causes radioactive tsunamis. Okay. And Dmitry Medvedev, he made a tweet about it, and somebody commented saying they should use it as a testing ground. They should use somewhere in Europe, I forget the name of it, and he's pretty much, Medvedev responded, he said then that place wouldn't exist anymore. So the Most High has given them, let me go ahead and grab that real quick. The Most High he gave these devils this technology. And when you look at the movie Oppenheimer, it goes into the history behind the atomic bomb. And that's why Oppenheimer made that statement, I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Okay, the Tsar Bomba was the largest atomic bomb, the most powerful atomic bomb ever tested. Originally, they had it at 100 megatons, which is 100 million tons of TNT, but they dialed it down to 50. And it still was it sent a mushroom cloud 40 miles in the sky. And this was in the late 60s, early 60s, somewhere around that time. So the nuclear weapons today are more modern. Okay? Even tactical nukes can do the damage of the Fat Boy that was dropped on, the two, you had the Fat Man and the Little Man. The tactical nukes are more powerful than those. Okay? Damn, why this ain't... Hold on, I'm trying to close this ticket out from my job at the same time I'm doing this video. But this is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. The waster to destroy is these nuclear weapons. The modern day smith is these scientists. Okay, the Most High gave these different, German scientists the idea on how to, split the atoms and, use uranium and plutonium. I believe they use that, these different elements to create these weapons. Okay, and they're going to be used for the destruction of Western Asia, which is the so-called Middle East, and Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay, they're going to be you, and the scriptures clearly, goes into this. There shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. Okay, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Okay, even Isaiah and John the Revelator, which I want to grab that, saw the mushroom cloud. Okay, but first let me go back to this because I want to read it. It says Trump orders Department of War to start nuclear weapons tests to match China and Russia. And this is what Trump put. The United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country, which isn't true. Russia has the most. It says this was accomplished including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second and China is a distant third. But we will be even within 5 years because of other countries' testing programs. I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Okay, and also the Pentagon has ordered the National Guard to create quick reaction forces nationwide by January that may respond to riots and civil unrest within the U.S. And that's a whole nother video. But I did want to, roughly, bring that out as well. Okay, and we in the end, man. All of these jobs are being taken. Government assistance is being cut off. Prices is going up. Okay, we're in the end, man. Okay, but staying on topic, the Lord is putting the spirit on the kings of the earth to do this because there will be a nuclear war. It's not a if, it's just a matter of when, which we know. Once again, like I said, the MOTB, okay, the mark of the BEAST has to come first. And if you don't know why we say it like that, it's because we got to talk in code. The videos are getting taken down, and eventually there's going to be a famine of the word anyway. This shit ain't loading, man. I hate DigView. Let me try it again. All right, so let me grab Revelation. I believe it's in the 9th chapter. Yeah, this is going into the nuclear weapons. But I want to, I'll get this, but I actually want to get something else. But this is Revelation. Okay, here we go. This is Revelation chapter 9, verse 15. And the 4 angels were loose, which the 4 angels is holding the wind. It says until the seal of the servants of our power, roughly paraphrasing the Revelation, the 7th chapter. It goes into them holding back the wind until the elect is sealed. Because the elect has to be sealed as well first before this can happen. Okay, it says, and the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. The scripture speaks about 3 classifications of men. The sons of God, which are the Israelites, the sons of man, which are the heathen, and then the sons of the wicked, which is Esau, Edom. The third part of man here is mainly, it's Esau, Edom, because they're the sons of the wicked. But you have Jakes and other heathens that's going to get caught up in the nuclear destruction as well. Okay, especially if you take the MOTB, you're guaranteed if you make it to the end, you're going to die in a second death. Revelation, the 14th chapter, makes that clear. Okay, it says, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them, which is 200 million. And these aren't talking about actual horses. These are talking about the nuclear weapons. Okay, it says, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Okay, when you look at, there's plenty of videos breaking down ICBMs and different missiles. Okay, how they shoot in the air, they break apart, and then, you know, the whole function behind the missile is to carry the warhead, is to get the warhead to reach the destination. Okay, that's why it says their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Okay, it says by these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth, because the warhead is what does the damage, not the actual missile. The missile is designed to get the warhead from one continent to another. Okay, it says, and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, which that's the missile. Okay, that God that travels the warhead. It says, and the heads, and had heads, and with them they do hurt the warhead. Okay, the warhead. But I want to get roll together, scroll. Oops. And I gotta wrap this up. I can't be on this ticket too long. I gotta get out of here. Isaiah saw the same thing. Okay, that's why Isaiah came up. Isaiah the 13th chapter goes into the exact same thing. I mean, I said 13:34. Okay, but I want to grab the one in Revelation. For the sake of time, this is Revelation chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell into the earth. He seen the nuclear warheads hit the earth. When you just look up videos of, you know, Iranian missiles coming down on Israel, you know, different missiles coming down, they look like stars. We got to remember, John didn't know what a missile was. He didn't know what a nuclear bomb was. He didn't know what, you know, this modern technology was. He described it the best way he could. So he was seeing the nuclear weapons, man. That's why I said, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth. These stars in space are not going to fall to the earth. The whole earth would be destroyed if a star, which is basically a sun, was to fall on the earth. He's seeing the nuclear weapons. Okay, it says, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. That's the mushroom cloud. It looks like a scroll. Okay, the way it folds in. It says, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. This is clearly nuclear destruction. Okay. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Right? Because when Yahweh Shai come, hey, that's the end of all these heathens' rulership. Okay? And they're going to be afraid, man. They're not going to want to face the wrath of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. But guess what? You're going to face it. Okay? So this is one step closer to nuclear Armageddon. These nations are beginning to test out their doomsday weapons, which Medvedev called it a true doomsday weapon. So we're clearly in the end. Just want to do this quick video. Lord willing, it was edifying. You know, I know I had to kind of rush through it, but Lord willing, it was edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.